The false framing. I was walking to school early in the morning to a soccer practice and just crossed the street when I felt the presence of eyes on me from my right. I spotted a figure in the distance wearing a dark gray trench coat and an anonymous hacker mask with a hood pulled over. "Hi there, are you new to the community?" I asked and waved. The figure didn't respond, so I concluded that it was just some creepy mannequin prank and kept on walking. I was pretty sure I heard the sound of an iPhone starting a recording, but I wasn't going to give any reaction at all to the dumb prank. The day went on as usual, until early second period. "Bobby Johnson, please report to the front office," I heard on the intercom. I hurried down to the front office, only to be greeted with disappointed faces. They tell me a student whose name shall not be disclosed reported that I had stuck gum under every desk in 3 classrooms in the 7th grade hall this morning. "But I was at soccer practice," I claimed. The administration's reply was a low-quality security camera video. Sure enough, there I was, walking out of a classroom wearing a Supreme hoodie, gold chain, and a Rolex I got from China. The figure in the video was holding a bucket of what seemed to be original double bubble gum up to his or her face, so we couldn't see who it was. "The person in the video isn't even completely dressed like me," I exclaimed as I noticed the individual's Yeezys did have the same red and black design like mine, but mine was a limited Supreme edition that had Supreme printed on the shoes instead of SPLY-350. It deeply offended me that they did not notice this, as the variation in the print was the difference between a measly $300 and cutting down our food rations for another 3 months. Even with my discovery of this inconsistency, the administration said the limited evidence they had pointed to me, and my behavioral issues supported the likelihood that I do such a thing. They said that if I didn't have anything else to say by the end of the day, someone would be needed to clean up all that gum by tomorrow, and that someone would be me. I angrily stormed out of the office. Who would do such a thing? Surprisingly, my twin brother, Dylan Johnson, was standing outside of the office. "Hey, Dylan, what are you doing here?" I asked. "Oh, I heard your name on the intercom, so I came to check up on you." I know what happened, because, genetic telepathy. Anyways, I know who did it. Calvin Lewis. I caught him coming to the office before school, probably after sticking all that gum under the desks. "And you know how you always choose gum," he replied. His response did prove a good point. Calvin probably chewed the most gum out of the whole school, and we two have had some bad history. My last diss track against him probably pushed him over the edge and caused him to want some dirty payback. Also, the 3 classrooms that were gummed were periods that Calvin and I shared. I suppose I should confront him. After school, I found Calvin and caught up to him. "Hey, Calvin, I know what you did this morning," I spoke in a stern voice. Calvin turns around and asks, popping a blue wet bubble in my face. "Yup, it's definitely him. Don't act all clueless. I know you stuck all the gum beneath the desk in those classrooms and tried to frame me. That's why those classrooms you gummed were all periods we had, because those were the only classes you knew I had, and that evidence would point to me." "What? No, Bobby, why are you trying to put this on me? I caught you in the act of sticking gum under the desks. It's nothing personal. All I did was rightfully report you to the administration," Calvin replied. Or now that I think of it, was it your brother?" He trailed off, but I was already walking away. Everything he said was complete garbage. I knew he wasn't going to confess, so I knew better than to waste my time on him. It was up to me to find the evidence I needed to prove him guilty. What other evidence could I prove Calvin guilty with? I intensely thought to myself, laying down on my bed. After rolling around a couple more times, I decided to go to my apartment kitchen to get some brain food. After opening the pantry door, I scoured the shelves for anything edible, until my eyes locked on a suspicious already open bucket of original double bubble. I couldn't believe my eyes. How could Calvin have gotten into our apartment? I grabbed the bucket of gum and ran up to my brother's room to get Dylan's perspective of things. I burst through his door, just to see something even more surprising. The entire outfit of the person on the security tape was on my brother's bed. and I was still wearing my own similar outfit. Dylan, I also found this bucket of double bubble in the pantry, the same bucket that was in the security tape. Those clothes on your bed were also what the person gumming the desks wore in the video as well, I exclaimed. Yeah, my poor, frightened brother stuttered. That's it, I announced. I'm calling the police on Calvin Lewis. It's definitely him. Breaking into our apartment has taken his prank a little too far. I grabbed my phone and started dialing 911 when Dylan shouted, "Wait, it was me!" Huh? Hey Dylan, you don't need to take the blame for that scum Calvin, I responded. But my brother did seem confident in what he said. He continued, "No, it was me. I was the one that watched you this morning while you were going to soccer practice, so I could copy the clothing you were going to wear since we always get the same stuff. I was the one that chose those specific classrooms and to stick gum under the desk to make you think it was Calvin who had set up the incident, not me." I was so stunned. How could have Dylan done this to me? "But why?" I asked my own brother. On the verge of tears, he sputtered, "It was because you got the first pick at a new pair of Yeezys just because you're a few minutes older than me. And of course, you stole the last available pair of limited edition Supreme Yeezys in stock. So I had to settle for some average black-red Yeezys." A heavy blanket of guilt settled on me. How could I have done this to my brother? This leaves me no choice. "Wait," I told Dylan as I took his pair of Yeezys, ran to my room, grabbed my own pair of Supreme Yeezys, then rushed to the living room. I picked up a pair of scissors and a shoe and started cutting the screws straight through the middle. The fabric was pretty hard to cut through, and so were the soles of the shoe, but I pushed on for the sake of my bond with my brother and for the sake of family. Eventually, 8 separate shoe pieces were lying on the table. I grabbed a hot glue gun and started gluing the Supreme Yeezy half shoes and the normal Yeezy half shoes together. I brought up the finished products to Dylan's room. "What's this?" he asked, eyes moist. I hand Dylan his new half and half shoes, now the same as my own pair. His eyes widen and his posture starts to shake, probably because of my heroic brotherly efforts. Now that we are equal, I say, will you help me clean up the gum incident tomorrow?"